Jesus Christ, I feel like I saw something completely different to the rest of the world. Because I got out of that film, I checked Twitter, and everyone's like, wow, this was surprisingly good. Wow, this film's really good. It's way better than Detective Pikachu. Look how much money it's bringing in. It's a fucking generic piece of shit that has nothing to do with Sonic.
Welcome to a very special episode of Sonic Xperts. I'm Paul.
I'm Zach.
And today we're discussing the brand new Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I can't believe it's finally come to this. Like, it's finally here, Zach. Can you believe it? The movie that we were promised as children but never got.
I mean, we got a Sonic movie. We could have just kept that one.
We got an OVA. We didn't. It's not actually feature length. I think it's about an hour 10.
Okay. I mean, I'm not really going to be a stickler about feature length. It was a movie to me.
Yeah, well, I didn't see it until way later. Maybe even after Sonic X. Maybe around the same sort of time.
Probably, yeah. I found a copy of it in Forbidden Planet at some point. That's when I actually saw it. Outside of that, it was just like I saw a trailer.
Well, my version of it, or the DVD, because you know the DVD had the renders of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, but my one looked exactly the same, apart from they were adventure artwork, and the tagline was "Catch some tails, scrape some knuckles." Apart from "scrape" wasn't written properly; it said "crepe."
Jesus.
But we're not here to talk about the Sonic OVA.
We're not here to
today.
talk about anything good.
So, last we spoke about this, I was not looking forward to this, and you were fairly optimistic.
I was fairly optimistic. Last we spoke about this, we were both dunking on Jim Carrey, and he's my favorite part of this film.
He's okay. So, I have to say, now, did I think it was particularly good? Well, no, I'm going to address the things that you said first. Is it better than Detective Pikachu? No. 100% it isn't. Is this movie competent? Yes. Is this movie good? If you're currently 8 years old, yes.
So I don't disagree with anything you've just said. My problem is it's not a Sonic movie.
It pains me to disagree with you. I actually think it really is. There's a lot in the art direction that I didn't even notice. That the production staff actually know what they're doing. Now, I'm going to say this straight up as well. I think that this movie is two different movies. I think it's interesting to see. I think what really impressed me is how they salvaged this movie. Because I think the Gangster's Paradise movie, I think some of it's still in there. Like, I can't believe they kept the child in the bag joke.
Stay in there and be quiet. How much longer? I can't breathe in here.
Do you have your child in that bag?
No. I mean, yes, it's a child, but it's not mine.
It's not your child.
It smells like body spray in an old ham sandwich.
Because that's really cringy. It was one
Sonic
of the worst
in a bar
parts.
fight?
That is from the original. Have you seen the concept art where it's Chris Evans?
Yeah, and Thanos is in the background.
There's so many things you bring up from that as well. James Marsden is fucking abysmal. He is terrible. Like you can see that you've got concept art where it's Chris Pratt, somewhere it's Chris Evans, and we end up with James Marsden, the guy that plays the robot, the cowboy robot in Westworld.
Okay, so I think the best way to go about this is to treat this like an episode of Sonic X.
Okay.
And go through it in order. But before we do, just Cliff Notes thoughts, just to get my opinion of it out.
Okay.
At the start.
Sure.
I feel like the only thing this has in common with Sonic is it has some of the artistic direction and character designs. But my problem with it is the character of Sonic is not got anything to do with the character we know and love.
Yeah.
You know, Sonic, the character that likes to play it safe and stay in one place for years.
Yeah.
Sonic, the character that only wants a real friend.
Yeah.
The Sonic that runs away from everything instead of tackling like his problems.
So I agree with you. I don't like that character as well. However,
but the problem is that character is the fucking film.
Yeah, I know. However, what I will say is that I think we'll go through the story bit by bit. I think characters is a good place to start, actually. And Sonic is, of course, the main place to start in this.
That's where the movie starts, so.
I've got strong feelings about that start. I think it won me back. Right, okay, characters. Right, Sonic.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah, I do agree with you. It's not Sonic in name as well. However, how many different interpretations of Sonic are there already? We've got, you're a big fan of STC, British Sonic. There's Archie Sonic, which is, there's kind of Archie Satam Sonic and Archie melodramatic soap opera Sonic.
Yeah.
There's Japanese Sonic Classic and Japanese Sonic Modern.
There's all Sonic the different Boom, there's Sonic X,
and the TV ones as well. The one where he's a fucking prince, the Prince and the Pauper one, all that kind of thing. So, I think that doesn't bother me because I think there's enough room for there to be different interpretations of Sonic. And
I do understand that, but they all have common threads that at least have like the punk philosophy of Sonic.
Actually. Yes. Well,
and that is not in this Sonic at all.
No, but do you know what wasn't a thing back in 1991? Fortnite.
Oh, we've got that floss in there.
So instead of like that 90s cool, this is the pathetic Sonic is actually indicative of kids today. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like that cool kind of. What was the big thing when we were kids? Like Terminator 2. Remember how big that was? There's so much of that kind of like cool edge leather jacket. It's not quite the Fonz 70s coolness kind of thing. There's an edge to it level kind of thing. It's like the Sonic from the 90s listens to Guns N' Roses, and he doesn't give a fuck about anything. Sonic now listens to what the fuck is the name of that song that's on the end? It's dreadful.
Fuck if I know.
But that it's indicative of kids today, and I think that if you put 90s arsehole Sonic in that, it's closer to this. I think you say it's not enough in common with it. There's a lot in common with Sonic X to it, being different worlds, different dimensions, human characters that are completely useless.
I would rather watch the first episode of Sonic X than watch this.
I think Sonic X is a stronger story.
Sonic X Sonic is that is so much closer to actual Sonic compared to this
it's
Sonic.
Japanese, that's why. I think Ben Schwartz is terrible. Ben Schwartz is terrible. Like I said, I can't. I'm in the cinema. I turned to my wife, who I did take on Valentine's Day when this opened.
It's okay. So, I went with my other half on Valentine's Day as well.
Made her watch it, and she turned to me with this shit-eating grin, being like, "You took me to see this bollocks." When he started flossing, and at first I was like, "He's flossing. That's so dated." But I'm like, "It's not dated. I'm dated. Like this is kids today. Like I can't really get angry because that's exactly what they should have done. I don't like it. It's not for me." And I look around the rest of the cinema, and it's full with kids who went fucking apeshit for it, especially in the credits. They went apeshit for that. Were there many kids in your screening?
No, everyone in the screening I went to was mostly my age.
Really?
Yeah, it was full of 20-somethings. There were a handful of kids. I didn't really get their reactions.
Yeah.
But it was mostly people my age, and the people that are saying, like, sharing these opinions that this film is like so much better than Detective Pikachu, and like, oh, it's a hidden gem, the best video game movie ever. Like that was a high bar.
Yeah.
They're all also people our age, and I don't get it. I understand, like, okay, so we're trying to get a new audience into Sonic, so we want to make him closer to what kids today are into, and I can understand that, but they've just changed core fundamental parts of the character. There's this character that's supposed to be like standing up to things and fighting back. And now he's just a wimp that runs away.
Well, it's an origin story, isn't it? When we're not there yet.
I guess that's what they're going for. And I could have got behind that if then at like the halfway point, he changes into the character we recognize.
Yeah.
That never happens. We get a bit of a cocky attitude near the end.
Yeah.
And then he gets fucking one shot and like just swept away like a loser.
I think Sonic 2 will be closer to the movie that you're looking for.
I hope so. Because I actually have grown to quite like the design. It looks way better on screen than I expected.
Last time I was really down on it. And in the end credits, when you see like the Sonic 1 sprite they use for things, I was like, wow, that actually does work.
And there's definitely people like on that team that had like fondness for the character and they did actually care about the project.
Yeah.
But just the way that Sonic has been written to not be anything relating to the character that we've all known for years and years really rubs me the wrong way. And I just can't enjoy this film.
I wonder if you'll come, if like by the time that like the DVD release comes around, you'll settle into it a bit more. Like, I wonder if like a second time, like, because sometimes I feel a bit like that on things. And like, I think if you have a few months to calm down, I think
maybe.
I can't. The main thing I think my takeaway from it is that I can't believe it was as good as it was. I can't believe it. I expected it to be a fucking bomb.
I can't believe the money it's making.
I can, because there's nothing else out, and it's half term. It's very clever they put it out now. This is because people are saying, "Oh, it's beating Detective Pikachu because it's beating the opening weekend gross." Number one, Detective Pikachu was out in summer, I think, while Endgame was still out, and things like that. So, and the other thing is that that's not entirely the truth. The truth is it does have the biggest opening weekend domestically.
Does this film get a sequel?
Yes. 100.
I think it will get a sequel.
So I think the budget is, I think they're lying massively about the budget, but I was convinced in the cinema when I by the time I was halfway through that I thought they will have to make a sequel because I thought the sequel was going to be the only way this movie made money. So like they'll break even and then they'll make money. But this is making money. I was dead wrong on that. Okay, so the next place.
Can you imagine this film with the original design?
No, because I think, well, I'd say that's the Gangster's Paradise movie. There was, so did you notice the beginning of the Gangster's Paradise thing where he's stretching on the road is out of the movie. They didn't redo that. And I think the baseball scene is new. That's how he makes the power cut. Although
when he's like stretching his legs and getting ready to like attack, because I think that's like part of that is actually in the film. They've just cut it in a different place
and put it completely differently.
I think it's in like the final fight.
Oh, maybe. So Dr. Robotnik is the other main thing about this.
20 minutes ago, an energy surge knocked out power across the entire Pacific Northwest. This needs someone who can figure out exactly what we're dealing with.
You're not suggesting who I think you're suggesting.
We have no choice.
What the? Are you in charge here?
Yes, I am.
Nope!
I'm wrong. I'm in charge.
Allow me to clarify. In a sequentially ranked hierarchy based on level of critical importance, the disparity between us is too vast to quantify. Agent Stone?
The doctor thinks you're basic.
Listen, pal, I don't know if you realize
I'm sorry, Major. What was your name?
Benny. Nobody cares.
He has like two different characters, and one of them I really like, and the other is also not very fitting. But
is it Dr. Eggman you like?
When he gets maniacal and not a complete fucking asshat for no reason.
Yeah.
Like when he's introduced, he goes around just waving his dick around in people's faces for no reason, completely unprovoked, and he is so unlikable.
Kids love it because they didn't see Jim Carrey do it 25 years ago.
It set me off on the wrong foot. But later in the film, when he starts being Eggman, and he starts fucking just doing stupid shit.
Have you seen
just like eating up, being maniacal? I start to really like him. And then by the end of the film, like after what happens to him, like in the teaser, like set up for the next film, I'm like, okay, I could see this character again. I'd be happy to see him again. As long as like now he doesn't have to pretend to fit into like a human society or anything.
Yeah. I thought I really like the design of his robots. I didn't realize that they were egg-shaped until I watched the movie.
I did think that was a funny way to get him to be the Eggman.
Somebody made some concept art of, I just think if I can find it, of Metal Sonic in that white design with the red lights.
Yeah.
And it looks amazing. I'd really go for it. I'll see if I can find it. But I think, so when he's being an arsehole, he's been that, Jim Carrey acting quite comfortably in that thing. He sells it quite well. I quite like his assistant, shall we say. He's not bad and everything. The character makes sense within this world as well. There's not really too much to say. It's Jim Carrey.
We all know he's not a bad actor. I wasn't.
Your mileage may vary.
I guess
he's good at doing the Jim Carrey thing.
I wasn't sure he'd be a good Eggman, but by the end of the film, he sells it to me.
Yeah, especially in the Mushroom Planet, I think.
Oh, Mushroom Hill.
Yeah,
maybe, we don't know. And then there's Sonic's friend.
What? The Donut Lord.
Donut Lord, the most fucking cringy nickname.
Hang on, I actually have to look this up. His name is. Do you remember?
Tom. I think it's Tom.
Tom Wachowski. Yeah, Tom Wachowski.
There we go.
James Marsden is terrible.
Road trip?
This can't be happening to me.
Oh my God, stop the car right now. What?
The world's largest rubber band ball? We gotta see it.
No, this is not some fun family road trip.
You're right. It was lame. Gift shop was cool though.
His wife is terrible. I think Sonic needed to be a bit more mature, and there needed to be Christopher Thorndike. I can't believe I just said that. Then it needed to be a kid. There's a reason why it's a kid in Sonic X.
Because Sonic doesn't need his hand held.
Yeah, he's slightly more mature, not a lot more, slightly. He's really young in this. They've never played him like actual age before, which is quite interesting because always he's been about 15.
It just adds up to the pile of things that make it not feel like Sonic to me.
Yeah.
So when we open, we see Sonic's childhood.
So we're going straight into this.
It's probably best to just go into it and tackle it as it
before
goes
that,
now.
Sega logo. It's like the Marvel Pictures thing. All I saw was Kazuma Kiryu from Yakuza,
Dude.
and I was like, mate, do it.
Do a fucking Yakuza movie. You can make a series out of that. I will watch every single one.
Yep, absolutely.
I am in 100%, and it's so much easier to make a better Yakuza movie over like a fucking CGI mascot movie.
I'll take high fantasy, cartoony kind of action as well with a golden axe. You know, I'll take full on neon Streets of Rage.
You can tell from that they are actually like seriously considering doing more things with their franchise.
I wonder if they'd have put that on the Gangster's Paradise movie, because supposedly Sega of Japan and America were completely fucking furious. That's again with everything that I heard about this from those original trailers. I cannot believe this movie is that good. I really can. Yeah, okay. So past the Sega movie is the part where I got quite upset of how I got really angry because the first fucking thing you hear. I was on Twitter and I saw the day before we saw it came out. There was the premiere.
Yep.
I was like, what the fuck are the hyper potions doing there? I was like, oh, that's weird. Why would you invite them? There's nobody else on the guest list. Hyper potions are there is because Friends from Sonic Mania, the opening theme, is the first thing you hear. Now, I fucking hate that because the Sonic Mania opening and the Pencil Test song is a message to people like me and you to say, don't worry, guys, it's back.
We're in good hands now.
Don't worry about it. We're back. And it's perfect. Like, I remember the first time I saw that Sonic Mania opening, little tear. I'm just like,
it's fucking gorgeous.
It's excellent. There's so much personality in it. Everything about the characters are right. And you haven't seen classic Sonic like that in so long. It's perfect. Now, they are bastardizing the message of that to be like, don't worry about it. It's cool. It's here. It's not. It's not.
This is the island where I'm from. It had everything. Sandy beaches, cascading waterfalls, public access to loop-de-loops. And I never had to catch a school bus because I could run across the entire island in less than 2 seconds. Also, there was no school. I know, pretty sweet island, right? Oh, yeah!
First introduction to Sonic is...
Baby Sonic.
Something I never wanted to see.
No.
I didn't need to see Sonic's, like... That's probably a big misstep for me as well. I didn't give a shit about Sonic's origins. I don't care what he was like as a kid.
Yeah.
That's not important to me. Do what this fucking Sonic X did, and it's just like, oh, it's Sonic as we know him, and now he's in our world.
Yeah.
Boom.
Ask the question and be like, I don't know, whatever.
But we're shown a tiny baby Sonic who's been told to hide his powers because the mysterious forces might be after him.
Yeah. Well, I was genuinely surprised to see the Echidna tribe in it.
I was. I did think that was a really nice touch that they then never. They don't touch it again.
Yeah.
And if they want to touch that on that in a sequel, and it's interesting,
yeah,
and Sonic's more like himself,
yeah,
I could be in.
Did you? So then you got Longclaw, the owl.
Sonic's fucking mother figure we've never heard about before, and we never really hear much about her now.
I think we will, and so I was like, that's a bit weird that you've chosen that. So there's been some stuff on Twitter as well that I've seen, and this has been confirmed by Tyson Hess. It's an owl on purpose, and it's not a reference to the old man from the OVA. It's a reference to the owl iconography in Sonic 1, like on the blocks of Labyrinth and things like that. So you see there's a map of South Island, which I think is the map from the Master System game. So there's that sort of thing. And like they've gone into the original Japanese Sonic lore and back, like, and proper back, this kind of thing. And they've built it from that. So, and he confirmed that is true. They know what they're doing. So it's all based on that owl iconography. Like, it's probably an owl race that it's their island, or it was. So that's quite interesting.
Cool Easter egg. Doesn't add anything to it when you're viewing it.
Yes, it doesn't, but it might at some point. Again, I don't think this was in the Gangster's Paradise movie at all. I think that's why Tyson Hess knows that, and I think that the entire beginning of the movie.
I've heard mumblings on Twitter that they weren't originally echidnas as well. That's a change with the redesign.
Yeah.
Which I can totally believe.
Yeah.
Just trying to add anything to win the fans back after the crash of the original trailer.
It totally works, though.
The echidnas are cool as hell. So Longclaw freaks out because the echidnas show up.
Yeah.
Chucks Sonic a bag of rings.
Yeah.
We all know what rings do. You chuck them in the air and they open portals.
Well, they do in Sonic 1. You got a big ring, you go for it and you end up in a different dimension.
Okay, fine.
You find them in Sonic 3
and
they do that?
There's very little ways to make rings actually work outside of a game context, so I don't really take issue with that.
No, absolutely. And it's a nice MacGuffin as well. Like Sonic 3D does it as well in this way.
I'd take that over Sonic X's like need to just make them super powerful for no reason.
No, how about you just have that built in?
So she chucks Sonic the bag of rings, says, chuck it and it'll take you somewhere safe.
Yeah, and if
they ever find you, do this again.
And end up on the weird mushroom planet.
So he jumps through, looks back and sees Longclaw getting just like fucking attacked by the echidnas. He tries to run back to save her and the ring just closes. And he's stuck in this new world.
For like 10 years?
I don't think this is Earth.
What do you mean?
So once we're reintroduced to Sonic in his cave, and he shows like this map of like a bunch of different worlds.
Yeah.
A few have been crossed out.
Oh, so you think
So he has jumped a few times before and then he landed in Earth and then he stayed quiet because he's like, oh, the next one is this fucking mushroom place. It's just like, he had a bunch of unexplored worlds. It was like a ring of different worlds and a few of them have been crossed out. I don't think the mushroom one would have been his final destination. He could have moved on from there.
Well, he seemed to think it was.
He seemed to act like it was, but then like the hints the rest of the movie showed didn't seem to.
Or maybe it's just the case of like, I've grown quite attached to this one. I really don't want to. No, but like, doesn't Longclaw say something like it is Earth?
I don't think so.
I think she
does. She just says, just fucking jump through the ring.
Like it's more like a kind of look, you'll be safe here. There's people, and you can. You'll be all right there if you're with them, sort of thing. I'm fairly certain that that's the case. I don't care if either of us are wrong.
I'm of the opinion that he's jumped a few times, and then he while he was a stupid kid, and then he started playing it safe. But we now jump cut to the future.
There's not really much to say here, is there?
10 years in the future, we're introduced to some like local cop
The crazy guy, Carl. The Sanic thing was really good.
I did laugh at the Sanic thing. He's trying to convince everyone that there's a blue devil around town and shows this is literally the Sanic meme.
It's about as close as you can get to internet memes because you literally can't do Chris Chan.
I bet that wasn't in the Gangster's Paradise version either.
So you think the picture is CGI? Yeah, could be. Well, everything that I think is good in this, I don't think was in the Gangster's Paradise version. Like, I think there's some things that just like they need to fluff it up, just for like the dance scene.
Yeah,
it's dreadful.
But we're introduced to Tom, who is going to be our buddy for the film.
Yeah,
our new best friend. He's just landed a new job in San Francisco.
Yeah,
and then we get our first of many product placements, where his lovely wife pops down a laptop and says, "Look, I've already been looking for apartments on this website."
Yeah, well, we don't get that over here, do we?
No, I can't. It began with a Z, maybe Zillow or something.
Zillow, yeah.
But it's clear product placement. The camera like stays on this for about 5 fucking seconds.
Did you see
just
it?
Like it's just the homepage of this website. Like, look at this lovely apartment I found.
It's like $4,000 per calendar month or something. You're like, what?
I wish I made that money, Tom. Jeez.
She better be a fucking great vet.
And we basically learn that this character's motivation is they're packing up and moving to San Francisco for a new job because they want to be a real cop that saves lives.
Yeah.
He's not getting.
I wonder where this story arc is going.
Then we jump over to Sonic, who has been stalking Tom and the rest of the residents of this town for the past however many years.
Yeah, 10, 7, 8, something like that, isn't it?
Not showing himself, although we've seen from the crazy guy that has caught glimpses of him that he has been kind of noticed. But he talks to himself looking at these people as if they're his friends, making Sonic out to be the biggest fucking loser.
No, it's
right
quite,
off the bat.
It is quite funny, but narratively it's quite good because it means that he doesn't need any character to introduce themselves to him because he already knows, and like obviously everybody's heard the rumors about the Blue Devil around town. So the writing wise, that's not bad. That's quite good. Obviously, I know characterization wise, your main problem is just the characterization of Sonic.
This is a good children's film if it wasn't Sonic.
Yes, but nobody would go to see it if it wasn't.
Kids might. I wouldn't have gone to see it, and that would be perfectly fine with me.
Yeah. Well, there's not really much to say about the story from here on out.
Just like cliff notes. He's playing fucking baseball
by himself
after he just stalked a bunch of kids playing baseball, and he's like, "Oh, I wish I had that much fun."
Yeah.
Plays it with himself, playing all the roles, jumping between all of them.
Quite Looney Tunes.
Very Looney Tunes. It was kind of funny. And then he realizes that no one's going to cheer him on because he's all by himself and he's a fucking loser. And then he just has like a complete freak out and it causes a blue fucking EMP explosion for some reason.
Yeah.
Let the place Sonic. Let the bitches mount also Sonic. Ugh, I can't with that guy.
Uh-oh. Which knocks out all the electricity in the town, and suddenly the US government's paying attention.
Yeah, the US government were not funny.
They were not funny.
It was almost funny. The delivery was funny, but it was unbelievable completely.
The material they were given was not funny.
Yeah, especially when the character returns at the end. I get kind of funny, but like
it's just placement.
Just a little bit lacking. Olive Garden. Do you imagine if it was British Sonic from STC and it is like Weatherspoons?
Fucking hell.
At least we now know that they have a really good deal on Unlimited Pasta Bowl, which is something that we didn't know before.
They wouldn't have let Sonic in a Weatherspoons anyway, or at least given him credit. He's not from the fucking UK.
Yeah, good point.
Go back to your own mushroom land, kid.
Yeah, well, that's it. So the government get involved. Straight away, they call Robotnik.
Everyone else on the board except for this one guy's like, you can't go to that guy. He's fucking crazy.
Yeah. It seems that he gets results though. So again, you want different. So there's nothing about Robotnik that resembles Dr. Eggman or Robotnik in any way at all. Like he is further removed than Sonic completely, but
I don't think so, because like once he starts losing it and actually going delusional, he's more Eggman-y than Sonic is Sonic.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. But regardless, it doesn't matter, because I think the fact that it has allowed itself to not fall prey to continuity so much is okay. Like it's just doing whatever it's going to do. That's fine. Don't worry. It's not beholden to anything. They've got Jim Carrey to do the Jim Carrey thing. I think the design work around that is pretty confident. I quite like he's like, again, quite modern thing as well. Drones, and these big like egg drones and everything as well.
Again, you don't really notice they're egg shaped until it's called out in the film.
No, I know, which is quite subtle as well.
They're usually on their side, so they're not like. It's not in your face.
He's got the hovercraft. It's not the usual eggomatic thing, but it's still fine. It works in the context of this. If they're going to cover that white motif, that's fine.
And I didn't have if you're going to make a character slightly more modern, yeah, that will make sense. You're going to go with something more sleek. And you know what? He keeps the core fucking concept of he wants to capture animals and put them in fucking robots.
So that's actually my problem. I wish the drones had them in. Have some stakes. If that was why he's a bit of a loose cannon, that he doesn't mind using like say animal testing or anything like that, and puts animals in these things just so that it can be powered.
Yeah,
that would be. I think that would completely. I would forgive anything they're going to do different, because that means that it's still at its core it's the same thing, and he's not. That's it.
He's only just like been turned on to the fact that animals can have power, though.
He's fucking Dick Dastardly.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's got a flying machine.
He does.
It's Dick Dastardly.
But what's this? The mean machine is going the wrong way. It's heading head-on for the other cars. Oh, Dick Dastardly must have flipped his lid.
Flipped like a fox, Poopsie. That car is a radio-controlled dummy, and it's loaded with dynamite.
Oh, this will be catastrophic.
There's no difference between if you're going to say that instead, then you believe that all the same. Like if his little airship thing was colored purple or anything like that, it's Dick Dastardly, mate. It's more that than it is Robotnik, but it's still fine, because again, it doesn't have to be beholden to anything. Like,
have you seen like speaking of the concept art earlier? They had this weird lizard, I think.
No.
People thought might have been the original villain. Is not in the film anymore. I'll
No.
see if I can find it. But it's more talk online is that potentially Robotnik wasn't even planned for the movie originally.
I think Jim Carrey was attached pretty early on. Maybe that it was the lizards instead of the echidnas.
Maybe that could be it.
When Sonic's hiding from Dr. Robotnik, he hides in Tom's shed. Tom shoots him with a tranquilizer gun. At least he has that for a reason as well. He does explain later on that it's his wife's, the vet's.
Yeah.
So like he doesn't have it for no reason or anything like that. That's quite nice.
We've been shown these raccoons hounding him. So
yeah, so that's what I mean. I actually think the movie's really well written to a degree. But like, you know what I mean? Everything has consequence. I think that's the echidnas.
Yeah, maybe. They look pretty hideous. It does look more in line with Sonic's original design. A bit too uncannily realistic.
Yeah.
Less cartoony.
Yeah, I think that might have been from whatever that was. If that whole Green Hill segment was in the original version of the movie, which I don't think it was. I think that was hastily put together. And it's good because it saves a lot of this.
SFPD!
Meow? Oh, come on.
Okay, pal, I want answers.
Basically, it looks like I'm gonna have to save your planet.
So Sonic gets hit by the tranquilizer gun.
Yep.
While he's hiding out in the shed, and one of the rings drops and opens on to San Francisco, which he sees on Tom's T-shirt, which is why Tom's T-shirt of whatever that building was, I think was on there.
Some American building.
I don't know. We
I've never been to San Francisco. I'm going to be honest with you.
Golden
guys.
Gate Bridge. Why wasn't it on the top of that? Doesn't matter. It's on the top of this building. And that's the MacGuffin. So that means they've got to go to San Francisco. Why are they using the fucking ring? Doesn't matter.
Because the ring closed before Sonic woke up.
So he doesn't have the rings.
He's dropped the rings.
They can't
through.
use the rings. Yeah, that actually makes sense. I'm an idiot. So yeah, they've got to drive there to get the rings before anybody picks them up, and so that he can still escape the planet.
Robotnik is on Sonic's tail, which is how he got chased to the house in the first place.
Yeah.
He stumbles in to Tom's house, attempts to kill him.
Yeah.
Until Sonic jumps in to try and save him, which causes Robotnik to panic. And then they set off to San Francisco.
Does he find the quill from the trailer before that or afterwards?
Afterwards. It's on like a bit of furniture or something.
Yeah.
Maybe where Sonic was passed out after the tranquilizer.
Yeah.
Had taken effect.
So they hit the road. Robotnik.
It's a road trip with very little actual road tripping going on.
Yeah. Robotnik gives chase. Is that happens right now, or is that the day after? Do they go to the bar first?
That's the day after. Tom tries to back out, but Sonic says, "This is your fucking fault, mate."
So, as I crashed into the cold, dark water of the Pacific, I realized a few things. A, I have no idea where I'm going. B, saltwater stings. C, I shouldn't even be on this planet right now, but I am. Why? Because you shot me.
I know.
You shot me!
All right, I heard you the first time. You don't have to pile it on. Good grief.
I'm wet, I'm cold, there's a fish on my head, and clearly I'm not going to be able to do this on my own.
All right, get in the truck.
Really? You're going to help me?
I guess it is a little bit my fault that all this is happening to you.
Not a little bit, entirely. It is entirely your fault.
It's entirely my fault. Are you coming?
Yes. Road trip? Whoop whoop!
What am I doing?
You shot me.
And then because Tom has no personality, he decides to go along with it.
Goes along with it.
Yeah.
They stop off for snacks somewhere.
We haven't mentioned that the town they're from is fucking Green Hills.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Hilltop Road?
Nah, not. Too much, man, too much. That was original. That was in the original trailer.
What's the place from the original called? From the beginning?
It's just Green Hills, isn't it?
Yeah, but where Sonic's from?
Oh, Green Hill Zone? Fuck if I know.
Oh, Paul, that's clearly the Emerald Hill.
Maybe it's Seaside Hill. We'll never know.
Maybe the rings are connected by places called Green Hill. So every dimension with a Green Hill.
I don't know. The mushroom didn't look very Green Hilly to me.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Maybe there's a Green Hill on the other side of that planet.
Maybe.
Maybe it's just called Green Hill there, though. That's where the mushrooms are. But
special kind of fungi. You can only get there.
Yeah.
They stop off to get food. Sonic's told to wait in the car, but he sees, bikers having a party and decides, fuck this.
Every time he looks across at them, they're doing something different that's awesome.
And he just excuses himself out of the car to go join them.
Aren't they just listening to Motley Crue or something constantly?
They're doing whatever an 8-year-old thinks is cool.
Yeah, I think
basically.
Bikers do, yeah.
He convinces Tom to stick around in the pub for a bit. They have some food. Sonic makes a bucket list of things he wants to do before he leaves Earth because he's all sad about it.
Yeah.
One of them is make a real friend.
Yeah.
Which Tom sees and is all like, oh, he's a sad boy, really? Very Sonic-y, definitely.
Yeah.
He does some dancing. He rides a bull. And
barroom brawl.
Then some of the bikers come up and say, we don't like your kind around here.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Hipsters.
That doesn't make sense at all.
I did not understand why that's the joke they went with. It's not funny. It doesn't make sense. And it starts a bar fight.
Yeah.
Which has a very Quicksilver-esque scene.
Yeah. There's loads of inconsistencies with Sonic's actual speed. I don't really care because it's a children's film. And those sequences are fun.
It's a fun sequence. Just everything slows down. It's literally,
but it's like to Flash degrees here.
Yeah.
Like
it's the Quicksilver scene in the last few X-Men films where he runs around and just deals with everyone while they are literally frozen in time, which makes you question why he doesn't just do this all the time if he can move this fast and solve all of his problems. But it is what it is. He beats everyone in a fight, and then they walk out, get on the road, and Robotnik starts chasing them.
Yeah,
we see on a TV at some point that Tom's been branded a terrorist,
which you love, of course.
I love it when Sonic villains are called terrorists. Tom is the biggest Sonic villain.
Well, terrorism and Sonic is so on brand. I think in every episode of Sonic Xperts so far, you have used the word terrorist.
I will. Yeah. If anything goes hand in hand, it's Sonic and terrorism.
So does that make up a long way on the movie for you then? Terrorism.
1 star.
1 star. The bar and brawl isn't particularly interesting. The slowdown segment is okay. It's quite fun. Then they go to a hotel. The entire thing as well, up to this point as well, Sonic's got these like manky shoes.
It's gross. He finds out that Tom, or as he calls him constantly, Donut Lord. Is moving to San Francisco, and then all these good, happy feelings he's been having about his new friends sour. He calls him a little bitch for wanting to leave this wonderful place. Why would you want to go and experience new things? Very Sonic-y, definitely. On brand. He throws a hissy fit that Tom wouldn't want to just stay in the same place for his entire life. And then Robotnik attacks.
Well, this is something that my wife told me like as it was happening. And she pointed out straight away. And I think this is because there are things in the edit that could not be saved or salvaged because of certain scenes and pacing and everything. But Dr. Robotnik finds out where they're going and like tries to intercept. How does he know they're going to San Francisco? How does he know? There's no way for him to know. And I think that was lost from the Gangster's Paradise version. I think
maybe we're showing a few scenes like in between all this of Robotnik and his little henchmen like on computers and shit. You're just supposed to like assume he just teched it somehow.
Yeah, well, that or he looked at the letter that says that he's been accepted for the police force in San Francisco and then could just...
Pretty sure he didn't though.
No, I know, but they were in his house and everything as well. They could have got it off his friends. Yeah, there's no reason for him to know that, but I'm sure that was lost in the edit. Children's film, who cares?
We get a very boring fight while Tom's driving a car and Sonic's it's constantly one-shotting this thing and it turns into a smaller robot over and over again.
That's quite funny, though.
It was quite funny, but like the fight is still not like fulfilling in any way.
No, but that's because I think the design work is again unsalvageable. That the design work is unsalvageable, and if it was a little bit more E-series, a little bit more missile wrist, then
fucking put missile wrist in it, and I'm in.
It would fit right in this movie, wouldn't it? Nice big white missile wrist,
right?
Rocket arm. No, that'd be great.
I want to watch Sonic X.
Just do a podcast. You might regret those words. Remember last time.
Aw, this one is cute. Let's keep him. Oh, come on! How can something so adorable be so terrible? You got car insurance, right? Ah! Buzz off. That doesn't sound good.
No, bigging is bad. Get rid of it.
I'm trying.
Throw it out the window. Throw it anywhere.
I can't get it off.
All right, I'm pulling over.
Did I get it?
No.
Ah!
Here, hold still.
It's going. It's going. It's still here. Get off me. Ha-ha! Nailed it.
the fight happens. There's an explosion which Sonic is hurt in, so he takes Sonic to see his wife, which is already in San Francisco or a place along the way.
Who is close to San Francisco, visiting her sister, and every time we see her sister, the running joke is that she wants her sister to divorce Tom.
Why?
I don't know.
He's a good man.
Like he's
got a good
bland
job.
as shit, but he's like got good morals, and we don't see him do actually anything terrible.
No, not at all. But
his biggest sin is that he's not an interesting person.
No, but neither is she.
Exactly. Yeah, they're nothing fucking just terrible characters.
I think again, I think this is all humor left over from the original version, which you can't take out. And I don't think is going to be in Sonic 2 going forwards. But like, she hates him. Why?
I mean, at this point, she's threatening to call the police, which is understandable because he's been branded as a terrorist.
Yeah.
But she sees Sonic's corpse and passes out. And after that, they just tie her up and move her in her house.
Well, again, children's movie stuff, whatever. The little girl, his wife's sister's daughter. Is there a name for that? Niece?
Maybe. Yeah.
Her niece.
Yeah.
Gives him the shoes. So it's a little bit more kind of...
Bit more Sonic-y.
Yeah.
I don't hate the shoes.
I don't as much now. The socks I still think are weird.
I think they work with the design.
Yes. I like it more having watched the movie than the trailers and everything like that. Do you know the shoes are actually real?
I did not.
No, they are real shoes, which they've just coloured differently. I don't know the name of them. I think they're Pumas.
Okay, not soaps.
It's better than it's better than the fucking like football boots that they originally had.
Jesus. Okay, so I know this is a complete tangent, but speaking about like my history with soap shoes, I found the box.
Oh, never. Are you not going to save this for a proper episode?
Hey, this is a proper episode to me.
This can be the next episode, I suppose.
No. This isn't extra. Okay, so this is the box. Soap. Play with yourself.
Oh, that's on purpose. So, yeah, he gets pretty much revived because...
his wife doesn't care that he's been branded as a terrorist because he's doing a good thing. Sonic's like, oh, thank you. You've saved my life, basically.
Yeah.
And Tom's like, oh, that's the thing I wanted to do all along.
Oh, yeah. So maybe I should go back home and do exactly what the plot's going to tell me to do.
They go to this building. Tom is able to walk in, flash his badge, and get access to the roof, despite being publicly like on blast as a terrorist.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I think they should have made more of a deal of the receptionist being like, I don't give a fuck.
She comments on how weird it is that someone from so far away is flashing their badge, trying to.
She's just like, yeah.
He
cool.
says someone's gonna jump on the roof, and she's like, "Why the fuck are you here then? Whatever, go up." But nobody notices that he's been like on TV.
Oh fuck! Oh fuck! There is a jumper on the roof.
Yeah. Okay. There is a jumper on the roof shortly. We get this really bad joke.
Yeah, from the trailer.
While they're
You've
waiting
seen it.
for the lift.
It's
and
cringy as fuck.
Everyone thinks that there's a kid in Tom's bag because Sonic won't shut the fuck up.
I'm really surprised they didn't edit it out or redub it.
It's another thing that reflects poorly on the character.
Yeah.
They get to the roof. Sonic finds the rings. They get all teary and they're like, "Oh, we're friends, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yay! It sucks that I'm never going to see you again."
Did you notice the bucket list says "Run on the Great Wall of China"?
No, I didn't.
It does.
Oh, okay. So he's going to cross that one off soon. He is about to like set up a ring when Robotnik is like floating up behind him, like, fuck you.
The time for talking is over. It's time to push buttons.
Your flying eggs are pretty impressive, Mr. Eggman. But let's face it, you'll never catch me.
Confidence. A fool's substitute for intelligence.
That's not good.
Sonic, I know you got the super speed and everything, but Maddie and I?
Totally defenseless? Probably gonna get blown up?
Pretty much, yeah.
Don't worry, I know exactly what to do.
was not expecting that. But I was expecting not to expect something, so it doesn't count.
We have glossed over the fact that Robotnik has run tests on the Quill, the Sonic that they found.
Oh, and his dance thing.
He starts fucking dancing and being a weirdo.
Did you know on the playlists it says Crash 40?
No, I didn't. That's cool. That's a good Easter egg. He's just like chucked away any resemblance of trying to fit in with people.
No.
And this is the point where I start going like, this is more like Eggman, just being fucking weird because he feels like it.
Yeah.
I can get behind this guy, and he becomes a lot more interesting to watch.
And becomes a
as
terrorist.
result. Yeah, and he is about to become a terrorist.
Yeah.
Which, as you all know, I eat this shit up.
Just to mention as well, like the dance segment where he's just there and as he's trying to run the experiments and everything, he puts like the fucking Quill in the microwave or whatever it looks like, but puts it in the space microwave so it gives him some test results. And yeah, there's like a big dance sequence. It's terrible. I think
he blows the fuse at some point, goes to turn them back on, and you can see like a label that says Badniks by one of the fuses.
Cool, like that.
That was cool. They don't touch on it
because
anymore.
that's just wow. So because that's just a hand that does it, is that Gangster's Paradise, or is it new?
I don't know. That could have been a really easy reshoot.
Yeah,
you don't need to get Jim back for that.
No, it's just a hand. I would guarantee that's not Jim Carrey's hand.
So I feel like Badniks is such an easy pull that they could have done it for the original, as like everyone knows what Badniks are.
But I don't believe that they would have.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially with the fact that it's not spoken aloud.
Okay.
The dance sequence is 100% Gangster's Paradise.
But definitely. I don't hate the dance sequence, though. It's cheesy as hell, but Robotnik is cheesy as hell.
Kids like that shit, and it's padding for time. It eats up 2 minutes easily.
But again, we're talking about a kid's film, and I take less issue with this than I do with my problem with the main character not being the character we're being sold.
I hate it. It's a waste of time entirely.
Definitely,
it's
but you can tell like they've probably cut so much out of this film that they need to pad for time.
Yes.
Again, the road trip part of this film is almost non-existent.
Yeah.
Which makes the whole setup really weird because they're clearly gearing up towards like sightseeing on the way, and they don't do any of it.
No, not really. I wonder if 1 or 2 stops might have been taken off.
I would almost guarantee it. So you're going to keep the dance for time. Is Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey? But Robotnik figures out that Sonic's Quill has infinite energy, so he's like, "Fucking hell! I can just drop all this government shit and just be crazy now." Pops it in his fucking Eggmobile and shoots off, ready to kidnap Sonic and take all of his quills.
I think you're right, by the way. It's 99 minutes long. It's about as short as it could possibly be.
Yeah, they've definitely cut this.
Yeah.
They've cut so much out of this. I would be curious if we ever see any of these as deleted scenes on a Blu-ray, but probably not.
No, not from the original. I think they want to bury
maybe some will
that.
leak eventually.
I think they want to bury it. I have a feeling that the original movie was completed though. Bar a few scenes. I think the movie was completed.
They did delay this for like a good few months for extra editing.
7 months.
They didn't just do the CGI for that. They've done work on this.
I just remembered about the end scene, the bit that was really lame, that that they started the movie almost like they had no confidence.
How did I get here?
Yeah, with the record stops almost. They didn't do the record stops.
It's a funny story, guys. Keep watching.
Yeah.
We go somewhere eventually.
For a movie that's actually quite confident, that scene's really not very confident. Have to show the end boss fight.
Because Sonic is so unlike Sonic for the whole fucking film, you have to show him that at some point in this he does actually fight someone.
Do you imagine if...
Doesn't run away like a little bitch.
Do you imagine if Captain America, the first Avenger, started with him on the hill against the Black Order, and there's a record scratch, stop, like, I bet you're wondering how I got here. Well, it all happened a long time ago, like 1942.
Only if they then freeze it again right before the actual fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Robotnik is now committed to being a villain, basically.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Of course he was. He's Robotnik. We all knew that. The film completely paints him as a villain from day one.
Yeah.
No one is surprised by this turn.
So
he's like threatening to just kill them all right now.
Yeah.
Sonic the humans are like, oh, how are we going to get out of this one? And Sonic's like, I'm going to fucking kill you, and pushes them off the edge of the building.
It's pretty smart.
It's a smart move.
And it's got that scene from the original trailer where he kind of stops time and then,
Yeah, he's playing around with the missiles, launching some of them back and whatnot. His plan is obviously to chuck a ring down there and save the humans before they spat on the ground.
Look at this! I took 9 million steps today.
Robotnik activates like his special quill.
Yeah, so he can go super fast.
Now his robot is supercharged, and he starts like catching up with Sonic even this slowdown and punking him. This is also when Robotnik is like talking trash. Sonic calls him the Eggman.
Yeah, good.
Like pointing out his little drones, and that is a.
Again, I think I don't think Robotnik responds to that. I think it might just be an off-cut edit to him going like, yeah, all right, which could be taken from anything. I wonder if that was ADR'd and wasn't in Gangsta's Paradise version. I believe almost nothing that we get that links to Sonic at all was in the Gangsta's Paradise version.
Yeah, I have no difficulty believing that so much of this film has been changed. If they're redoing all the CGI, it's little effort to get the guy to just voice a few extra lines.
Yeah.
And just work it around the human performance.
Yeah. So
they've cut. It's such a short film. They've definitely cut stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. So there's a solid 15 minutes missing, I think.
Sonic manages to catch up to the humans in time, chucks a ring, and they end up in a farm back in their hometown.
In Green Hills.
In Green Hills.
You're going to keep saying that because I see the look on your face.
Yeah. If only you guys had a camera on me. I'm loving this. It's my favorite fucking film.
But then again, while there's action, there's no story. There's generally the case with these things. So there's not really much to talk about. There's he runs.
Sonic vows he's going to start fighting back now because he doesn't want to leave Earth because he's made a friend.
Well, that's not until they get back to Green Hills. There's like a big long chase segment that goes through.
Right at the end of the build, like run down the building, he gets blasted down. The bag of rings smash everywhere. And you hear them do like the ring drop sound, which, I'll give you that one. It's the only chance you're going to get to do it in the film.
Yeah.
And Sonic stands up and says, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to fight you.
I love if he said that.
You know
what? Fuck you.
Fuck you, guy. I've just realized there's only one person chasing me, so I'm just going to kill you.
Yeah.
He picks up the rings, and then they go on this huge, I say huge, it's probably only a few minutes long, like action scene where they're just
through the streets of San Francisco,
like running through like famous landmarks, chucking rings and jumping.
Oh
to the
yeah,
next
it's
one.
like the pyramids, and then there's the Great Wall of China.
So while they're here in San Francisco is when Eggman is around, just shooting missiles everywhere, causing huge public damage. This is what brands him as a terrorist, basically, because the rest, everything else he does is away from people for the most part.
Yeah,
this is why he's now officially bad in everyone's eyes.
Yeah.
They go to the pyramids. They go to the Great Wall of China.
There's not really much to talk about until they end back up. No, he loses him somewhere. Might be on the Great Wall.
They go to Paris.
Oh yeah, but he loses him somewhere, and then like, does Sonic go back to Green Hills, and then like he catches up with him?
No, I don't think he loses him anywhere. Because he makes a good point of like, oh God, he's so fucking fast.
I don't even remember.
But he does end up back in Green Hills, right in like a public space, which also Tom and his wife just happen to show up there at the same time.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh shit, it's the Blue Devil.
Yeah. I fucking told you, like Crazy Carl and that.
Yeah. They're all immediately on his side, because of course.
Because, underdog story.
Of course. Robotnik shows up. Sonic's like, still going to kill you. And then he gets killed.
Well, I thought it was quite clever use of the kind of university's rules to like put the ring behind Dr. Robotnik and like have well, obviously find something for Tom to actually do. That's usually the case with these human characters and these things. They need something to do.
Sonic gets blasted. He's like on the floor. Is he going to die? We don't know.
We don't know. Doing his best Yamcha dead pose.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom sees the bag of rings that's been scattered on the floor again, picks one up, chucks it, is like sneaking up behind Robotnik. But hey, he's no Chris Thorndike.
Yeah.
Eggman notices straight away and puts a stop to that.
Does manage to clock him though, doesn't he?
I think so.
Yeah.
Second time he's punched him. They've got like a whole punching thing going on. It's not important.
No. I want to see my animal characters.
Now Eggman's like, cool, I'll just kill you too, I guess. They all turn around and go, actually, I think he's just dead. And just like there's like a good like 30 seconds where everyone's just like going, oh no, and looking at Sonic and his fucking lifeless corpse.
Yeah.
They start bickering again. Eggman's like, can I get him on ice? I need him.
Yeah.
He's powerful. And then Sonic's like, just kidding. I'm going to take all the power back from that quill because that's the thing I can do now.
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking kill you for real this time.
Oh, so he's just like, I'm not going anywhere. You are.
Now you've done it. Guess what, Eggman? I'm not leaving Earth. You are. Donut Lord?
Yeah.
That's your fuck yeah moment where all the kids in my cinema were just like, yes! Which I thought was so cool.
Were they really?
Yeah.
There was, you could hear a pin drop in my cinema.
Oh no, it was quite sweet because all the kids were like, yes! Oh, it was like proper like fist pumping and everything. Like there was a really nice little experience for that. Maybe you'd have felt a bit differently if you could see it through their eyes.
Maybe, but again, like I just feel like I was missold a film about a different character.
So what's left to say? Dr. Eggman,
he chucks
Dr.
him through a
Robotnik,
ring to the mushroom place Sonic doesn't want to go to,
and strands him there.
Yeah, now Eggman is stranded in what we can only call Mushroom Hill.
Yeah,
that's clearly what it's referencing.
Yeah,
and then we leave him there for a good while we just see like clear up. The fucking military show up at Tom's door and like apologize. He's apparently not a terrorist anymore. Everyone's good, and they give him a voucher to Olive Garden,
which I actually thought was quite a good joke. It's just delivered by the wrong character.
It can be kind of funny to us because Olive Garden isn't a thing we have here. It's not clear product placement.
No,
but
I'm surprised.
I can only imagine if like he fucking rocked up and literally did, here's a Weatherspoons voucher.
Well,
We'd all go,
I'm surprised they
off.
didn't redub that because in The Winter Soldier, Cap's got that not bucket list but like catch up list.
Yeah.
That's different in every country.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah. So like there's like nostalgic. There's a list of nostalgic things or things to catch up from the like 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I think in the American one it says like grunge music, but it says something like it says like Nirvana or something. But in other versions, it's like in French. There's like a bit more French local stuff and everything as well.
Okay,
so I'm really surprised that they didn't redo the product placement, but maybe that's part of business deals. We don't really know.
Yeah, they had to fund that redesign somehow.
Yeah. Oh, do you not think that's from the original? I do.
I'm just like taking a shot where I can take a shot, but
I think it's from the original.
They're not going to drop any penny they can make from this thing.
No, absolutely not.
They clearly, I think they thought they had a bomb on their hands. I think most people did. But the government's like, oh, if you see that blue guy around, let him know the president wants to talk, just as friends, you know?
Yeah. This is how he gets that photo for his desk.
Oh, shit! All right, I take it all back. This movie is canon with Shadow the Hedgehog.
So, have you seen Rise of the Planet of the Apes?
No.
Oh, you have not. I burst out laughing in the cinema because for anybody who's seen the Planet of the Apes remake trilogy, mate, they are fucking great films. They're really, really good. But Caesar, when he's young, he lives with this family. They put him in the attic with like loads of like hoops and stuff and like toys to go around. And then I was like, oh my god, they're keeping him as a pet like Caesar. They're giving him the monkey room.
So we end this film off with Tom chucking his dreams away.
Yeah.
Because a little blue hedgehog called him out.
Because his wife's taste in apartments is too expensive.
maybe that's the real reason. If we read between the lines,
we
maybe
have
that's
to eat
why.
at Olive Garden. Do you think we can afford this place?
Tom has chucked his dreams away. They're like telling Sonic he needs to fuck off to bed. He's like, oh no. They're like, where are you going? You're in the attic now, buddy. And they've just moved his cave into the attic.
With the piano version of the Green Hill theme. Do you get it? Do you get it?
And it's supposed to be this really nice scene. And I just sat here the whole time going like, this isn't Sonic at all.
Salvaged by the end credits though.
He sure looks happy about this, but so now we're ending the film on, oh cool, Sonic has fought back once, but he still doesn't actually want to be adventurous or do anything. Cool.
Dr. Eggman. Dr. Robotnik. I keep doing that. I can't do it.
He is Eggman now, we can call him that. Sonic's branded him.
Well, yeah, okay.
If we get a sequel, he's definitely just going to be Eggman to him from day one.
Maybe.
It's going to be a Sonic
Adventure
Adventure one. Like, he calls himself Robotnik, Sonic calls him Eggman.
So we see him on the Mushroom Planet where he has fully bicked his head.
My grasp on sanity remains absolute. Isn't that right, Agent Stone?
Why don't you get a head start? Do some reconnaissance! Reconnaissance! Come on, that's hilarious! What's the matter with you? Here's the sitch. Uninhabited planet. No resources, no supplies, no apparent way home. A lesser man would die here. I'll be home by Christmas.
He is he's committed to the bold look. He's been there a while. His mustache has grown out.
It was quite Apocalypse Now, where he was shaving his head.
But he better have this exact look in the sequel.
Yeah.
Because I really dig this look.
100% he will.
If only he'd looked this way the whole time.
No. This explains how he can look like a cartoon character.
This is a really good origin for why he's just he is a cartoon character now.
And he's going to go, in isolation, he's going to go insane.
He's stranded on fucking Mushroom Hill, talking to a rock, calling him his old assistant. He's committed to the bold look. He's got the mustache.
Was he called Stone?
Yeah.
It was called Stone, wasn't he? Yeah.
He's wearing red now because he had his flight suit on. He's looking as close to Eggman as we've got in this film.
And he's going to build everything back up from scratch because he's got a few bits of tech, that kind of thing. But it's clearly going to make. He'll get. You believe he will get back home.
He's harvested what he could from what he's got, and he's just exploring and taking shit. He's like, oh, for anyone else, this would be impossible. It'll take me 9 months.
Yeah.
And that's the last we see of him, and that's perfect because if he comes back in a sequel, I can completely buy it. And he's going to be even more the character I actually wanted to see.
Well, the thing is, what we've left after that is that if he does come back in 9 months, this time he'll be joined by strong friends. Like Tails, the genius mechanic.
I actually didn't expect this. I thought...
I should have, from the opening, This was not in the Gangster's Paradise version.
This
no
absolutely
fucking
wasn't,
way.
because we heard... for the longest time since the first trailer... we had all heard that the after-credit stinger was going to be Robotnik committing to the bold look.
In the trailer?
We heard that.
Fucking trailer?
Yeah. The rumor was that was just the end of the film. That's it. That's the teaser.
Yeah.
And I completely bought that. So I saw that. I was like, cool, this is going to be the end of the film. Do we get some credits now?
Yeah, we get
some real stylized credits, lots of 2D sprites. I really like this credit sequence. I did think this was really cool.
The 2D sprite of the original Sonic 1 sprite looks really... I never realized that the movie version was so similar to that and not Adventure. I was watching the sprite, I was like, wow, this really works.
We get a really abridged retelling of the movie in sprite form using the Sonic 1 art style. It's so good.
It's really good.
And I'm like, holy shit, this is the best thing I've seen in the film so far.
Yeah.
This is clearly made with love. But again, we've been spending this whole time talking about how this is a new Sonic for a new generation. And you're closing out with this fucking nostalgia aimed for someone that wants a completely different character. What are you doing?
Retro's in, though. Well, do you remember? No, the thing is, when we were kids and we were 8-year-olds and that kind of thing, it was nothing but throwaways from the 60s and 70s. We didn't give a fuck about the Beverly Hillbillies or the Addams Family or anything like that.
True enough, but it just feels like trying to have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah,
I really love the sequence, but again, it just feels like it was aimed for a different audience to the main film. It probably was just aimed for the parents that took their kids. But if you're going to take that and try and bank off that nostalgia, you should at least kind of make the character match up.
I just hope I'm not too late.
Portal opens
and we see fucking Tails, and he looks really good.
It's not bad, is it?
I was proper expecting that fucking hideous stuffed fox.
Do you know who the voice actress is?
No.
It's the current one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's really...
I didn't pick up on that.
So maybe Roger Craig Smith wouldn't have worked in this, but that will work.
That will absolutely work.
So
I really like Roger Craig Smith Sonic.
It's
that would not have worked with this Sonic at all.
No, not at all.
Been so out of place.
But that Tails will work. I think his little device as well is based on the one from Unleashed.
Maybe
it was yellow.
I was like ready to leave the cinema at this point, and I saw like something playing. I was turned around and was like, "Fucking Tails!"
The kids went fucking apeshit.
I was like, just seriously impressed that he looked really good. They're not going to have to redesign Tails. He's fucking perfect.
No,
already.
I know. Like how that's saving face though, putting Tails and kind of Knuckles into the movie.
Oh, absolutely. If we get a sequel, Tails and Knuckles will both be in it.
No, I think Tails will. I think Knuckles will be at the end.
I don't think you.
I think they'll do Metal
if you're
Sonic.
Not going to pay them off.
I think they'll do Metal Sonic.
I wouldn't be so sure they'd even get a third film. So I feel like if they've set
They'll
up
get a third
if
film.
they set up Echidnas and Tails, I feel like they will both be in the next. If Knuckles only shows up and does a fucking Wonder Woman in the final fight.
They'll get a third. They will definitely get a third, but it might be like fuck, what was that third Turtles movie called? Was it Turtles in Time? No, was that just the game? That one.
There's definitely a time travel one. The second one is Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah, I can't remember what the third one's called, but that one, it might be that level of quality because that sometimes happens.
Yeah, diminishing returns, so they give less and less budget.
Yeah. But there will definitely be a Sonic 2. There will definitely be a Sonic 2.
I have no doubt in my mind, especially after how well it's been doing and like the setup for like a sequel. This is definitely happening.
I think we should probably revisit this somewhere later down the lines when the scope becomes a little bit bigger and we can talk about things because there's a lot that we can't really cover right now because I read more and more of it as it comes on about the history behind the making of this, which is insane. Like, I bet
there's going to be a very interesting series of articles, or maybe even a book about this eventually.
Yeah, because Sony passed on this.
This has had. We've been hearing about a Sonic movie for so many years.
Yeah.
Even I dislike this movie because I've been over it plenty in this podcast episode already. This is still probably one of the best outcomes we could have expected because as a standalone film, it's not terrible.
It's just that personal realization that this isn't the Sonic for you anymore. Again, it's so how funny is that it's not about you anymore.
This is my Star Wars, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not about you anymore. This is the Sonic of now, and this is what to accept. But there's enough in there, I think. And looking around this cinema full of kids who were fucking like, yes. Oh, I did actually mention that as well. There's a big theory on how Tails can detect him, and why the echidnas are after him. He's fused to a Chaos Emerald. That's how he has those powers.
Maybe. Okay.
It makes sense.
Okay.
Entirely.
That'd be interesting.
They're not going to Infinity Gauntlet it, though.
No. Do you think we see Supersonic in the second film?
No, but I think we see the Death Egg.
The Death Egg is like so on the nose, but it'd totally work.
Well, I think... so this is the thing as well. I think the Death Egg would be a name that Sonic would give it, and it would be called like the Superior Battle Station for this and this, to be like, whatever, it's just the Death Egg. It looks like the Death Star. Like that, I think they'd hang a lampshade on that, and I think they'd do that. so the box ticking of sequels, like Tails is already a given. We've already got that. Knuckles is almost a given. It almost doesn't matter if we see Knuckles because we know he exists. I think with this tribe, I don't think they'll do the ancient past. I think they'll do Tikal. I think there's a chance we'll do Chaos.
The echidnas we saw did have like the tribal markings from Sonic Adventure.
So it won't be the ancient past.
The biggest like pain I have here is everything I'm interested in is more of this Sonic's world.
Yeah.
And so much of this film is not that at all.
I know, but I like with the promise of Tails, it clearly will be. Especially like they've opened up like Dr. Robotnik's in a different universe now or in a different world.
Do you think we go to wherever Robotnik is, or do you think everything comes to Earth?
Comes to Earth.
We really Sonic X this.
So
I've added what they should have done is they should have had a fully grown Sonic arrive in Green Hills and get chased by an FBI, like a Formula One FBI fucking officer, all the way to San Francisco, and then
what like Mad Max Fury Road?
Yeah, I want Sonic versus Sam Speed, and I want no dialogue.
You fucking hated that in the anime, and now you want it back.
Yeah, I do. That's a better introduction. I want no dialogue.
I wonder if this is
the second he gets to Earth, I want it to go black and white. No one says a word.
Do you think this will soften the New World saga for Sonic X for us?
I don't know.
I wonder if it will, because
maybe I'll be more forgiving when I'll be like, well, at least he acts like Sonic.
Yeah, sure.
At least he's a dick like I remember him being.
Yeah.
How are you not dead? I have no idea.
Oh, give me a big fat break!
That was an illegal left, by the way.
Oh, this one is cute. Let's keep him. Oh, come on! You've got car insurance, right?
Why would you throw your life away for this silly little alien?
Good time.
He's my friend.
Let's go! This is my power. And I'm using it to protect my friends. So, you're supposed to be Tom's best friend that he won't shut up about. Well, I don't see the appeal. That is very gross. Let's go.
Okay. Would you recommend this movie?
If you have kids or you're taking someone like you want to introduce to Sonic, then yeah, probably there's worse you can go see.
Absolutely.
If you want to go see it yourself because you're a huge Sonic fan, I don't recommend it.
No. You can't, because if you're a Sonic fan like us, you were going to go see it anyway.
You've probably already seen it before you've listened to this.
Yeah.
But like, it isn't. Paul is right. This isn't for us. I still think it's a huge misstep to make the characters so off base with what even the current games are doing.
Yeah.
Because you're completely right. Like, this is a new Sonic for a new generation. So it's going to reference. I didn't even have a problem with the reference to flossing. I could eat that up. That's fine. You're right. Fortnite's big right now. But it's just such a huge difference in character between what we got in even Sonic fucking Forces or Sonic Generations.
Yeah.
And this.
I think
it's a completely different character.
I think the setup of the plot is quite good. That now so again, there's so many boxes to tick in this as well. So are they going to do the Sonic 3 and Knuckles plot? Probably. I think that we'll probably, at some point we'll see the hidden plant of Palace, and we'll see the tapestry with the, Doomsday on it. I think there's a good chance that they can do. They could do Tiny Planet. They could do Sonic CD really, really easily. They could, or a version of it.
I think Sonic CD is still so out there that we won't. I think
I think we'd see Metal Sonic.
My honest take would be that they try speed up to the Sonic and Knuckles fight, so we try skip out Sonic 2 and just introduce the Death Egg at the end there and sort of mash the two games together.
Oh shit! What if he gets travel and goes to Sonic's planet?
So yeah, I think the way it will go is that Robotnik won't immediately come back to Earth.
Yeah.
He'll investigate other places to see what power sources he can find.
Yeah.
Probably start kidnapping some animals.
Yeah.
He will trick Knuckles because he
Yeah.
knows he's got a problem over on Earth and now he wants to go back with his new power to take over. So we're going to have some sort of Sonic and Knuckles straight off the bat.
Yeah.
And then at the end, once Sonic wins Knuckles over, he's like, Death Egg, bitches.
Do you reckon they'll do Sonic 2, 3, and Knuckles in one go then?
Yeah, I think they will mix them both together, and it's not going to resemble the games we know because it can't.
I think
it's just going to take plot elements from both of them.
I think Metal Sonic's
and I think Metal Sonic will come in at some point.
But
maybe like as someone else to fight, and Knuckles is just like the sideman.
My point is though that all of these situations don't feel implausible. You know, Perfect Chaos, the Death Egg, the Doomsday Zone. You know, Sonic 3 and Knuckles plot.
I just want
the
less
Tiny
focus
Planet.
I want less focus on the fucking people. I hope that they have some more confidence into just going harder into.
I think
Sonic characters
there
now.
will be humans because there has to be, but I think there'll be a kid in the next one. I think they'll drop the
A kid would have been so much better. Why are you teaming Sonic up with an adult?
like. Do you think about the kid from Iron Man 3?
What are we supposed to do with Tails now? If Sonic is still acting like a fucking child, and Tails is supposed to be younger than him,
Yeah,
but he's now got to come in and be the smart one.
yeah.
Sonic's still acting like a brat. Let alone, like, how does Tails even know Sonic? Because he probably wasn't even born when Sonic fucked off. So he probably knows Sonic, like, from name alone.
Maybe there's some sort of freedom fighter thing going on.
Maybe. It's...
Well, okay. So what about that? Do you think they'll do Princess Sally?
No.
And any of those lot?
No.
I think there's a chance.
It depends how much...
I think it's less of a chance.
I think it depends on how much, like, Sega actually has a say in anything for the sequel.
More.
Because they're not going to want to put fucking Archie characters
They want to give money to Ken Penders.
Yeah, no, they want everyone to forget that.
Yeah.
Like, wholeheartedly. They want to focus on their main brand of characters.
But Princess Sally particularly, I would think would be the only one you'd see. And I think because there's a lot of nostalgia in that.
Oh, because lots of weirdos on the internet want to fuck her. Absolutely.
Completely. She's too sexy.
Oh, you know, I didn't want to say anything, but I feel so much more open now.
I think that's less possible, but I do think it's funny, isn't it? That it's quite open ended with this. We've
left off in a place where a sequel could be really good, and I could be into it. But I don't think that getting there was a good trip
with the redesign. Perhaps they would have gone into a more classic Sonic, but again, you can't change those parts of the movie. The movie had been made. So I don't know. I think there'll be definite restructuring of what worked in Sonic 2. I think we'll see it before a Detective Pikachu sequel. It is not as good as Detective Pikachu. Detective Pikachu was made with love.
Detective Pikachu is definitely a better film.
It's not perfect, and it's less good than I thought it would be because of the garbled ending.
But they lent so much harder into actual Pokemon shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and they made it like this. They've put the
Whereas
rules
for
on
the majority of this film, the only Sonic thing about this is the main character's design, not his writing, rings, and a guy called Robotnik.
Give me an out of 10.
Like, as a fan or as an overall film?
As an overall film.
As an overall film, I'd probably give it a 6. It's an above average kids film. It's okay.
I would give it about a 6.5.
Like, it's not like a fantastic kids film. It's just not offensive. You can put someone
as
in
a
front
video
of this.
game film. It's a fucking 10 out of 10.
Yeah, but that is such a low bar.
Yeah. What are the good ones? Like rated, which is Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu.
Tomb Raider. I haven't seen it, but apparently it's quite good. And Angry Birds 2 is one of the. Apparently is legit.
Really?
Yeah. The first one was terrible. Apparently the second one's really good.
How have we not got a Metal Gear Solid film at this point?
Rights are all over the place.
Maybe. Just a fucking anime. That's so, like, you don't even have to change most of the fucking script.
TV,
it was written as a film.
I think they might do TV more now with the way that's changed.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, the Castlevania Netflix show it's not a movie, but that's legit.
I've seen bits. It's okay. It seems to be like a vampire anime called Castlevania more than anything, though.
It takes a lot from the original game's lore, actually.
Okay.
like a surprising amount. The next series is all going to be based off a PS2 spin-off. It's insane. Like, if you dig deep on that, the writers actually gave a shit about Castlevania lore. And who the fuck gives a shit about Castlevania lore?
Yeah. Who's next, do you think? I don't think... Mega Man doesn't have lasting appeal for this sort of thing.
I love Mega Man to bits, but he's never
There's
going to...
nothing there. It's just Astro Boy.
He's never going to be a winner.
It's kind of Astro Boy, but kind of worse. Have you seen the Astro Boy movie?
No.
Oh, that's abysmal. Did you know they made one? No. They made a CGI movie about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It bombed so fucking hard.
Well, I've not heard of it until today, so...
It's not good. He wears clothes.
Of course. I'd say Mario, but...
That's coming.
Is it?
Illumination are making it, apparently.
Oh.
They're probably the right people for it.
Yeah, maybe. I just really don't like their style of comedy.
Or films. Do you know what? Again, this is tangent into kids' films now. I was told that Secret Life of Pets was going to be really good. It isn't. It's fucking dreadful.
Secret Life of Pets. So I went to go see that with my old housemates. It's like, we're going to go see this and go like for some drinks afterwards because this is our last day living together.
Yeah.
And someone in the group wanted to see it. So I was like, yeah, fine, whatever. It's the only film I've ever fallen asleep in the cinema watching.
I've fallen asleep in a movie.
It was fucking terrible.
I fell asleep for about 25 minutes in This Is the End and felt like I missed nothing.
I got suddenly excited and then not excited for the Mario movie.
I think they're probably the right people for it. And remember, this is Nintendo.
Yeah, I'm sure they have like a big hand in what happens. So it's going to be the script that makes it or break it. They make a decent enough looking animated film.
I'm sure that during everything they were doing during Detective Pikachu, there was a very angry Japanese man that had to stand there and watch over every single thing everyone was doing at all times, because they did that in the Pokemon Center in London. They were watching everything.
Yeah.
So they've made Pokemon, they've made Sonic. There's I don't know, whatever. Spyro?
Is
Crash?
Pokemon getting a sequel?
Supposedly it was greenlit straight away. These ones take a hell of a lot more to make, though.
We'll definitely see Sonic 2 before.
We'll probably do Detective Pikachu on this at some point.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I always have a lot to say about that.
I always love that stylized credits. I really like that. All the characters at the end in like the Ken Sugimori style artwork.
Yeah.
It's fucking brilliant. I don't mind rambling on this, by the way.
See, I wouldn't have said Spyro or Crash, but those remakes did so fucking well.
Yeah.
There's clearly like a love for it.
Illumination,
Crash.
People
People our age eat that shit up. Spyro has some added appeal in that he was branded on Skylanders for so long. So even like generations below us quite like Spyro.
Do you think they might take a kind of more of a serious fantasy, like How to Train Your Dragon sort of approach to that?
I feel like they'd be like seriously tempted to.
Yeah.
I think it'd be the wrong move.
I think it'd be the right move because it's quite more of a fantasy thing. I think
so. Both of those, Crash and Spyro, have both had serious turns in even the actual games, and that's when they started to tank really badly.
Yeah,
it's like the old like classic fun energy filled like worlds are what made them enjoyable.
Can you believe that we not only live in a world where they've made a Sonic movie and where they potentially made a bad one, but where they actually turned it around into a good one? That's crazy, isn't it? Like,
yeah, I feel better about this than I ever expected to.
Yeah.
But I
can't believe I came out of there being like, oh, I really wish I had something worse to say about this. But
I left that movie theater and I didn't really know what to say to my other half. I was like, she asked me like, so did you enjoy it? And I was like, I don't know.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. I
really expected to leave and go, that was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And not have to think about it.
It's like, oh fuck, man.
I think seeing so many people so positive on it has actually soured my opinion even more.
Yeah, sure. It's not that good.
Like Sonic fans
should be.
Sonic fans will eat anything up, but the way people are talking about it online, like, oh, this is the fucking savior. This is save the franchise. I'm like, this has nothing in common with the fucking franchise.
I think that's a bit strong. I really do. I think the version that Tyson Hesse worked on is closer to Sonic. Like this version of it is closer to it than it could have been, and the bits that weren't are from the original version. But they've already spent too much money in it, so they have to do at least something with this.
Well,
I think there's a potential that Knuckles would only appear in the third one, and that's because they'd use they'd say and Knuckles.
We've set a bit of a precedent on this show where it'd be really weird if I came in more positive than you anyway, which is strange because I don't think our real relationship is like that. I think you're usually more down than I am.
Oh, massively. My catchphrase like these days is
it's fucking terrible. I hate it.
No, it's not that at all. It's why can't things be good anymore? Look. Let's close this up. We've been talking for nearly an hour and a half about this.
This is a full-blown episode now.
It is. It was better than it should have been.
I will see a sequel.
Yeah.
I really want
third one.
I really want to do the Sonic OVA on this.
We will get to Sonic OVA. Like we said last time as well, we'll do Sonic Jam.
Sonic Jam's a fucking jam.
Sonic Jam's yeah, great.
All right, so we'll be back with you guys next time with your regularly scheduled Sonic X episodes. I will be interested to see if this colours my opinion of that show.
I think it will. I think it will. I think you'll be a bit softer on it.
Be way more forgiving. Just like, at least they're acting the way they're supposed to be.
It didn't help that those last two were particularly shite.
Oh, how do you fuck up Sonic versus Knuckles? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ. Oh, well, we have like Chris's party coming up or something, don't we? So
yeah,
that'll be fun.
And if they suck that much, we'll do 3 in a row until they get good.
Oh, it's becoming a possibility. All right. We've been your Sonic experts. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. You can reach us on Twitter at Sonic Xperts. I'm at Unfusiasm.
I'm at Sir Doctor. Please leave us like an iTunes review or something. If you're listening to us there, we will definitely read them out on air.
Yeah. Definitely. Despite how bad they are, or
you give me a 1-star review, I'm going to read it.
Oh, most definitely. Right, okay, yeah, cool. Thanks very much, guys, and go and see the Sonic movie if you still can, I guess. Or don't.
Whatever, I'm not your fucking keeper.